Hello everyone. In this lecture, we are going to talk about some of the techniques, DM based techniques, data mining techniques, and how they're used. Excuse me. Yes. So we have four particular techniques. First one is supervised learning, second is unsupervised learning, third is reinforcement learning, and the fourth one is semi supervised learning. So this is very beautifully given, very simple analogy, and it is going to stay with you for the rest of your life. When we talk about supervised learning, we say that if you have both X and both Y, then you are using supervised learning technique. And if you only have X and you don't know about Y, you are using unsupervised learning. So what happens is when you are using a technique where you know what is the input, you know what is the output, you know what is the value of X, what are the values of X, and you know what is going to be your Y, what is going to be your output. And then the technique, the algorithm you are using, you keep on changing it to make that association better, to know that given a set of X, you can accurately predict a Y, right? So the middle algorithm is changed over and over because you know both about the values of X and you know about the value of Y. Such type of techniques are called as supervised learning techniques because those techniques are evolving in supervision. You know what is going to be the output, you know X and Y, right? So you work on the algorithm, you work on the technique, and there is supervision by you. That is why we call it as a supervised learning technique, which is being supervised by the user, by the programmer. On the other hand, if we talk about unsupervised learning, here what happens is you will just give a set of input parameters. You will just say that this is my database with 25 input vectors, but I don't know about Y. I have no idea about the output. So then you let the technique work on its own to find out associations. Then your algorithm, it will just simply find out कि कौन से parameters का connection है, right? Because it is working on numerical basis. और बहुत जल्दी टेस्ट केसेस चेक होंगे इन योर सिस्टम. नॉर्मली एज अ ह्यूमन वी माइट नॉट बी एबल टू डू इट. So in unsupervised learning, what we do is we just let it work on its own. We let the algorithm work on its own to give us values, y, values of y, values of output. If something satisfies us, then we stop it and we work on it. If things don't satisfy us, then we make it work upon that data again and again. When we talk about supervised learning techniques, we are talking about making the technique better so that Y can be accurately predicted. But when we talk about unsupervised learning techniques, we are just talking about finding new values, finding what was not apparent to us before. Supposedly, again, you have that Walmart database. Earlier you knew कि so and so users are there, they buy so and so class of products, and that is the result, right? You had your entire database for the last 20 years. So in that case, if you want to find some association, it will be supervised learning because you will know the X value, you will know the Y value, what you're looking for. But supposedly the owner of Walmart decides that there might be some information which I have missed and I want to find that. So then he will launch unsupervised learning algorithms, and that algorithm will give us output which we never thought were possible. And as an analyst, it is your job to find out whether you accept that output or you don't accept that output. Maybe the association is very meaningless. There might not be any association with two set of items, and the algorithm said that these two items are associated. Maybe it gives you some association which really works, which you never thought about. And when we talk about big data, we're talking about very big data. So you might be having an inventory of 1 lakh products, right? So you let the algorithm run on its own and give you a set of association. Using those association, you can find out if something is of value to you or not. So supervised and unsupervised. Supervised, where you know what will be your input parameters and what will be your output. So you just work on the algorithm to make it better associated, to find out why very correctly, very accurately. In unsupervised learning techniques, what you do is you have no idea about the output, so you just let the algorithm work on its own to find out the patterns. So that is unsupervised learning. In reinforcement learning, what we do is we will use some technique and we will get some result. मतलब ये तो बहुत obvious सी बात है that input data है, आप उस पर कोई भी algorithm लगाओगे वो आपको कुछ result देगा ही देगा, right? आपने वो result देखा and then you thought that is it right or is it wrong, and you realize that it is right. So you increased the weight in your algorithm कि ये correct जा रहा था. Maybe after 15 attempts आपको गलत आंसर मिल गया. So you said that this is not working. So reinforcement learning techniques वो techniques होती हैं where you are reinforcing the correct behavior and you are reinforcing the wrong behavior. जब correct result आ रहा है, so you're saying yes, this is correct. When the wrong result is coming, you're saying no, this is wrong. So we are reinforcing our technique. We are making it better by telling it whether it is right or it is wrong. Last is semi-supervised learning. In semi-supervised learning, we say that we have, there will be a database. Some of the values will have an output value. कुछ values के लिए y का factor होगा हमारे पास. We will know what is the output. But for rest of the data, we might not have the y. We might not know what will be the predicted value of y. So that is semi-supervised. Half of the way you will apply supervised, then you launch it into unsupervised manner. So a combination of such techniques is semi-supervised learning. Whatever technique you will use, whatever logic you will use, it is going to fall into these 4 categories only. It will be either supervised learning, or it will be unsupervised learning, or reinforcement learning, or semi-supervised learning, right? So you can't escape these. These are the 4 key categories, and the idea is very simple. So just try to understand it. Yeah. So here we supervised learning, unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is based on feedback system, reward penalty system. So here what is happening, see. So we have a state, we worked upon it, and then we acted upon it depending upon your input environment, depending upon your parameters. If the output is correct, then we say that it is correct and give it back to our processing, and it works again on our environment. If our output is not right, then we say that it is not working. So we again go to our agent and we say that it is not working and some particular action is being taken. So we have to define it beforehand what we are going to do if the wrong behavior is provided, what we are going to do if the right behavior is provided. Reinforcement learning, it always work on feedback loops. So just take up the analogy of a dog. If you have a dog, the dog has no idea what to do. If you say good dog, the dog will be happy and he will do it over and over again. If you say bad dog, the dog will just simply sit and retreat back to its behavior. Such type of techniques fall under reinforcement learning techniques. If the result is right, we say that the result is right, so we work upon it. If the result is wrong, we say that result is wrong, so that association becomes meaningless. So the values, a little bit of weights, entire algorithms, entire techniques, they are just working on small mathematical values, decimal numbers, little bit of decimal numbers and tweaking of those numbers. So those weights will be reduced accordingly. That is how we reaffirm the right behavior and the wrong behavior. That is our reinforcement learning. And then we have semi-supervised learning, where small section of data contains x, y, but majority of data contains x. So we will know what is the value of y, but only for a very small set. Rest of the set will not be having any associated y with it. So simply we use a combination of supervised and unsupervised learning techniques to give rise to this category, semi-supervised learning, because we have a lot of missing data. And for such type of cases we can use semi-supervised learning. Supervised learning is the machine learning or data mining task of learning a function that maps an input to an output based on example input output pairs. So you will have input output pairs, you will have X and Y association, and you're simply going to find out what works best in that case. And under supervised learning there are two particular types of classification: regression and classification. Again, just a little reminder, all of this I'm teaching because I want to give it a technical dimension also. It is not important for your exams, because I will not be asking very detailed question from these topics, right? You will be learning about all of these techniques, all of these mathematical models when you will be learning about machine learning. In this subject, in this course, we are just talking about the fundamentals of everything. So if you understand it very well, if you don't, then don't worry, it is not as significant as it is. You will learn about it in next semester also. So yeah, regression and classification. Regression mein what happens is we find out continuous values, in the sense that if we give the scale of 0 to 1, we will have a very continuous value that 0.7, 0.8, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. We do it, we make the graphs, and according to those graphs we find a regressive value, a continuous type of a value. So you can have any value between 0 to 1. If you are using such type of algorithm, such type of supervised learning where the value can be continuous value, then we call it as regression based supervised learning. But if you really want just 0 and 1, for example, you gave a data set, a health data set of cancer related patients, right? And you prepared a model on the basis of that, and now your model is ready. Whatever information you give to the model will predict if you if you will be having cancer or not. So predicting if a person is going to have cancer or not, the result will be 0 or 1. yes और no में ही रिजल्ट आएगा ना कि कैंसर है या नहीं है, होगा या नहीं होगा, yes और no. ऐसे जो क्वेश्चंस होते हैं, ऐसी जो एल्गोरिदम्स होती हैं, दे फॉल अंडर क्लासिफिकेशन कैटेगरी, वेयर यू आर जस्ट क्लासिफाइंग कि ये 0 में है या 1 में है, 0 में है या 3 में है, सिंपल इज दैट. रिग्रेशन में यू आर गिविंग मे बी प्रोबेबिलिटी, सेम मॉडल में आपको प्रोबेबिलिटी देनी है दैट this is the data for 2 people and I want to find out what is the probability of these people catching cancer in next 20 years. So if the system is giving you probability that maybe 30%, maybe 70%, so you're getting continuous values, then we say that it is regression based supervised learning. But if you're just getting yes no based answers, then we say that it is classification based supervised learning. So these are some of the algorithms. You can, if you are interested, you can go to Wikipedia and read about this. Under supervised learning, we have linear regression, we have logistic regression, you have decision tree, ID3, C4.5, CART. We have naive-Bayes classification, K nearest neighbor classification. We have support vector machines. We have back propagation neural networks. So these are specialized techniques. Again, once you go a little bit deeper in these use cases, in these techniques, you will find out what works best for which particular set of circumstances, right? Just giving you an example of one of these because it is very easy to understand. Decision tree is one of the techniques which falls under supervised learning. So what we do is we start from a root node and we start splitting simply. This root node is going to decide कि यहाँ जाना है या यहाँ जाना है. Then this decision node is going to decide where you're going to fall, B or C. Similarly, अब जैसे ये ट्री यहाँ पे खत्म हो चुका है, this sub tree is over, but over here this decision node is further leading down to another decision node. फिर यहाँ classification हो रहा है कि कहाँ पे जाना है. So in such a manner, when we talk about systems, जब ये practically run होगा, the decision tree is going to be huge. It is going to be huge to find out, answers. ऐसा हो रहा है तो ऐसा होगा, ऐसा हो रहा है तो ऐसा होगा. So those associations, that category in a hierarchical manner, That decision tree will be trained and it will be perfectly ready that आप ऊपर से start करो and you will go down to a terminal road and that will be your decision. So one very simple example of decision tree is whether we need to play football or not. We start over here. The first our decision node or the root node is what is the outlook? Is it sunny, overcast or rain? So if it is overcast, then you directly go to the terminal node and say yes, you can play. If it is sunny, then we need to decide whether it is humid or not. If it is highly humid and sunny, then you should not play football. If it is not really humid and sunny, then you can play football. Similarly for rain, if rain is there, then we further lead down to another question, another decision node. What is the quality of the wind? Is it strong or weak? If the wind is strong and it is raining, then you do not need to play. You cannot play football. If the wind is weak and there is rain, you might play football. And there might be another decision node over here, right? So it all depends what you are finding about, and you can design a decision tree on the basis of that. Unsupervised learning is the machine learning data mining task to model the underlying structure or distribution in the data in order to learn more about the data. So we don't know about it. We are going to learn more about it. Unsupervised learning is where you only have input data and no corresponding output variables. So that is the beauty of unsupervised learning, because you don't know what you're looking for and you just keep on expecting to find out new things from the data. The types of unsupervised learning: clustering and association. So clustering problem is where you want to discover the inherent groupings in the data, such as grouping customers by purchasing behavior. Now this is a very interesting example, right? If you use an unsupervised learning, and what it starts to do, you're using clustering algorithms and it finds clusters. पूरे data में वो छोटे छोटे clusters ढूंढ देगा. These clusters are associated, a set of 15 users, a set of 15 customers, they are related by what? By a purchasing behavior जो आपके algorithm ने ही identify किया होगा. On the basis of that purchasing behavior, उसने collectively groups बना दिए throughout your database. Normally it is not possible for us to do that. If you have a database having maybe 2 crore product sale, how are you going to find out? Manually you cannot, but if you let your unsupervised algorithm go, it is going to give you small information, small clusters that this cluster is associated. I don't know how, I will find it out. It keeps on working on that, and it makes the work of a data scientist easier in a manner, because now that person knows how the data is connected, why it is showing this in that manner. You can find out inferences from that. So under, like in supervised learning, we talked about regression and classification. Under unsupervised learning, we have clustering and association. So clustering is combining or finding out set of input parameters which are closely associated, finding out those clusters throughout the database sheet. And association is where you again find out x to y. You find it out on your own self. That algorithm is finding out which particular set of x is associated with a particular output. So you can either make clusters or you can work on associations. So these are the examples of unsupervised learning algorithms: k-means clustering, a priori based association rules, association rule mining, hierarchical clustering, and there are other support vector machines and all. And lastly, we have mining. So there can be textual mining, there can be graph mining, there can be any type of mining. You can mine social media also, you can mine hashtags also, you can mine images, you can mine data embedded within images, you can mine videos. All of those techniques, all of those types of mining, you can put it into here: text mining, graph mining, visual mining, any other type of mining. So that is, I think, all. Yes, after this we have life cycle of data, which we discussed. Big data advantages and disadvantages, again discussed. Types of big data, so just go through this. We talked about this also. There can be many sources. It might not be it is not possible that everything I've put over here, but these are some of the examples. Then In the next video, we're going to talk about these steps which we go through while analyzing any type of big data workload. And after that, we will talk about the big data ecosystem, and then our unit will be over. Thank you very much.